Van Winkle. Nothing rhymes with Winkle. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cat. Words of wisdom. Drop that zero and get with the hero.
But I really didn't know what to, what to expect.
You lie about your background.
I mean, that's all old news. I didn't lie about
But
nothing.
Welcome to New Viral Drama, where the Hollywood mask gets ripped off and the dirty truth comes flying out with receipts, plot twists, and straight-up madness caught in 4K. Vanilla Ice just blew the lid off his own story, and it's nothing like what folks thought. For years, people clowned him as a one-hit wonder who just vanished after his short ride at the top. But turns out, he didn't fade away. He got out, and now he's finally revealing the real reason he ditched the spotlight. And it's chilling. Word is, some powerful music execs allegedly tried to drag him into those shady secret society rituals that everybody whispers about, but no one dares to name. You know the ones, creepy, coded, and packed with disturbing rumors. But Ice, he didn't fold. He said no, flat out refused to play along. And that's when things got wild, real wild. Behind the scenes, he was hit with setups, weird threats, and shady people suddenly appearing out of nowhere.
I got stabbed 5 times, got my main artery right here in my leg. I almost died. You only have 8 pints of blood, I lost 4.
Damn.
And it was in my friend's seat for 3 months after. It still didn't even dry up, like he had the sponge seat, underneath it, and it was in the seat when he took me to the hospital. My buddy Phil took me to the hospital. It was his fight. It wasn't even my fight. I didn't even know who this guy was. I was his passenger. And he's in the front yard of some dude's house. And he goes up and the dude comes out in this trench coat. And Phil runs like turns into the biggest in the world and runs. And I'm standing there and I'm like, what the that The dude was coming at him and he turns around and ran. Huh. This is my big Phil, man, the big dude. And the guy came at me. He goes, you want some of this, mother? I go, I don't even know who you are. I don't know what this is, bro. What's going on? And mother just standing there and he's yuck. Next thing I know, I turn around, I choke the dude. He's just a skinny dude, a little guy. And that's why I couldn't understand why Phil ran. I didn't see the knife. He ran because he had a knife. And Phil comes back after the dude's laughing. I beat the dude. He saw me. Phil's 2 houses down in the front yard looking at me. I'm fighting this dude. Didn't even know he was stabbing me. And I'm choking him, and I choked him out. Did one of those old UFC moves. I put him on the ground. I just choked him out. I'm punching him in the face. I beat his ass. Skinny little dude. He was easy to beat up. I let him go. He's out, and I get up, and he's still on the ground, and he's laughing at me. I'm like, why are you laughing, dude? I just beat your ass. And I go I'm exhausted, so I put my hands like this, and my hand slipped off. And I go, what the? I looked at it, and it was blood everywhere, and he got my main artery here. It was just gushing out like some see out of the movies where just an artery is main thing. It squirts out. And he got me in my ass cheek. He stabbed me across here. Got 47 stitches on my hand.
47 stitches.
From here, see it? Right here, all the way down to here. I mean, I got scars. There's the artery right there, dog. Not to show you my untanned leg. I don't wear tight shorts and that's where the knife went in right there. And I'll spare you the details of my ass, but
yeah, we don't need to see
there's
that.
The scar there. Scar stories, man. Nothing to it.
Okay.
He stayed silent for years, but now he's speaking out. And it's sounding like he barely escaped becoming another tragic industry story. So how close did Vanilla Ice actually get to being taken out by the same twisted system that's chewed up so many others? And what kind of game were these music elites really playing? Stick around because we're diving headfirst into how Vanilla Ice outsmarted the industry machine and why stepping away might have saved his life.
All I heard was like Ice Ice Baby, and I knew all these stones was being thrown at him, and I'm like, that song is whack. But why are all these stones really being thrown at him?
Vanilla Ice was the golden boy of early 90s pop rap. He shot to fame like a rocket, then vanished just as fast. Most people shrugged it off, thinking he was just another one-hit wonder who couldn't handle the pressure. But now, the truth is sounding way darker than that. New info is coming out, and it's pointing fingers at the industry big dogs. According to reports, Ice didn't fall off. He dipped on purpose. Why? Because those same creepy gatekeepers we've heard about, the ones tied to shady rituals and soul-selling deals, allegedly came knocking when he was at his peak.
An in-store, which is called an autograph signing party in Miami. And this place only holds the record store is called Specs, and it only holds 500 people, and there's 5,000 people showed up. Out hanging out in the mall, hanging outside, inside, completely packed, and I had 3 security guards, plus the mall security, which was about 7 of them. So there's about 10 security guards all together. And I go, okay, come up next. Whoever wants to come next, you know, get a autograph. Wow. The whole crowd. I mean, they ripped. I had my MTV shirt on and everything, and they ripped it completely off. My censorship shirt, ripped it completely off. Broke my watch on the concrete. The security guards had to drag me out of there because the girls had hold of my pants and I couldn't walk, and I was just like getting dragged this way and pulled this way. It was incredible. It was terrible. They wrote on the limo with a marker, "We love you, Vanilla Ice," on an all-white limousine with a magic marker that doesn't, a permanent marker. Whew.
Sources say he got invited to those infamous private parties. Yeah, the same kind of sketchy events that are now being linked to names like Diddy. But instead of going with the flow, Vanilla Ice straight up rejected them. He didn't bite the bait, and that decision might have saved him from a very different fate. Later on, he even threw subtle shade at the whole machine, hinting at the lies, the dirty manipulation, and how the fame game was nothing but a setup. And just like that, he ghosted the industry. This wasn't just a fall off, this was a silent rebellion. Let's talk about those freaky underground parties, the ones that keep popping up in every shady industry whisper.
I was young, manipulated, and I was a puppet.
Back when Vanilla Ice was blowing up with Ice Ice Baby, Diddy was still lurking in the background, learning the ropes. But here's where it gets twisted. Diddy didn't start those creepy rituals. Allegedly, he inherited them from the very same mentors who once tried to reel in Vanilla Ice. After his hit went global, Vanilla Ice landed straight on the radar of music's shadowy elite, including the late Charles Koppelman, a major player who had serious ties to Clive Davis, Diddy's longtime mentor. Yeah, that Clive, the man rumored to have pulled a lot of strings behind the scenes. Insiders claim these powerful execs didn't just see Vanilla Ice as a cash machine. They saw him as a puppet in the making.
He even proposed to me. I mean, things were going so crazy and fast, man. I was just like, what? I thought the guy was supposed to do that. What do you mean? Wait a minute. This is too fast. I'm just getting started here, and I'm way too young for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was crazy. The more I think about it, the more crazy.
Allegedly, they wanted to groom him, pull him into those high-level invite-only parties, the kind filled with secrecy, influence, and chilling rumors. But Ice wasn't blind. He peeped the setup. He started noticing things weren't right. The pressure, the weird meetings, the expectations, and just when they thought they had him locked in, he backed off, cold. He disappeared from the spotlight and walked away from the machine. For good. No meltdown, no scandal, no tabloid crash, just a quiet escape from a system that swallowed others whole. But walking away from the game wasn't some smooth exit. It got real dangerous, real quick.
My dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be nightmares. And I figured out the biggest value and purpose in life is that it has nothing to do with money or buying all these things.
Vanilla Ice had multiple moments where he legit thought he wasn't gonna make it out alive. This wasn't just about dodging fame, it was about surviving it. Let's rewind for a second. Vanilla Ice, real name Robert Matthew Van Winkle, got his first shot around 1987. DJ Floyd, Earthquake Brown, spotted him performing at a South Dallas club called City Lights, and from there, things moved fast. By 1990, Ice dropped his major label debut To The Extreme, and that album exploded. 15 million copies sold worldwide. It moved faster than any album since Purple Rain. That's not small talk, that's legendary status. And Ice Ice Baby, that track made history as the first rap song ever to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It didn't just go viral, it kicked rap into the American mainstream like a sledgehammer.
Having relationships with guys, no. Was I doing things with guys that would probably be deemed to be gay?
Suddenly, Vanilla Ice wasn't just a rapper, he was a full-on pop culture phenomenon. Hollywood came running too. In 1991, he hit the big screen with his movie debut in Cool as Ice. Every label, every brand, everyone wanted a piece of him. Even Madonna was obsessed, no joke. She was so into Ice that she proposed to him. But guess what? He turned her down. He was barely in his 20s, fresh into the spotlight and still riding the wave of his breakout moment. But behind the glitz, the pressure was deadly and the game was darker than anyone realized. Unlike a lot of guys who hit it big, Vanilla Ice wasn't out here chasing every woman in Hollywood. While most celebs were busy partying and collecting headlines, Ice settled down early. He married Laura Giarita in 1997, and they had 2 daughters. They managed to stay married for nearly 2 decades, which in Hollywood, that's almost unheard of, especially since back in his prime, female fans were going crazy for him. But it didn't end pretty. In 2016, Laura filed for divorce, claiming Ice had cut her off financially and was hiding money. Yup.
Message of the devil. It's a spiritual war. So what happens is, in order for that artist to be in position to even mislead the people, they have to be worthy. This is hazing. This is the hazing aspect of it. In order to climb the ladder in the music industry, you have to be hazed. And when you're getting hazed, you're getting f***ed in your ass.
You think you say like basically
this homosexual ritual? I'm saying
the love story turned cold. Still, 20 years is a long run in an industry built on fast fame and even faster breakups. At just 23, Ice had the whole rap game shook. He was the biggest rapper on the planet for a moment, but that spotlight came with major backlash. Hip-hop fans started turning on him, questioning whether he was legit or just another example of cultural appropriation. And it didn't help when folks like Arsenio Hall called him out on air, accusing him of faking his background. Why? Because Ice claimed Miami as his hometown when he was actually from Farmers Branch, a suburb of Dallas. But years later, he finally set the record straight. He admitted in an interview, "I lived in Miami and wrote Ice Ice Baby about it. I didn't think about where I was from at the time. That only became a thing after I was famous. I was like, where I'm from? Who effing cares where I'm from? I was embarrassed to tell people I was from Farmers Branch, Dallas. I didn't tell them I was from Miami. I didn't tell them I was from anywhere. I was just like, listen, I'm from around the corner, man." That pressure to fit in, it was real. And for Ice, it was just the beginning of what fame was really hiding.
How does the industry situation turn me into a man? It really didn't. If anything, it tried to take man stripes from me.
I'm from around the effing way. That's how Vanilla Ice put it. Raw and straight to the point. He wasn't trying to sell a fake dream. He was just dodging the spotlight on his personal life. But no matter what he said, critics kept digging. They questioned his past, doubted his street cred, and treated his come up like a joke. Still, Ice wasn't looking for pity or shortcuts. He wanted to earn his place. And that's exactly what he did. He threw himself headfirst into the culture, especially the dance scene. He got hooked on 80s classics like Breakin' and Beat Street, obsessing over every move. He'd stay up all night replaying scenes, copying the routines with the broom, the fishing line, doing the robot, and adding his own flavor. In one interview, Ice said, "I can't tell you how many sleepless nights I spent mimicking the moves from Breakin' and Beat Street, watching them throw down, then trying to do it better. My mindset was always, whatever it is, you gotta prove yourself."
This is a quote that you said in one of your interviews. You said, "At one point in my life, I didn't even know who I was, what my purpose was. I didn't want to live anymore. With hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, I didn't give a shit about life. Who I am today is a complete flip the script opposite of that, and just super grateful, man, for my family, for my kids. And that's the meaning of life, man, the true meaning of life."
100%. We can go around as a young person in this globe and see life in a different way. And then you know what happens is, I shook this whole globe up, you know, like a snow globe. I shook it up. And you think reality is what you see in front of you, and then the snow globe kind of settles a little bit, and then you find out that none of it was real. It was all artificial. It's all just entertainment world. It's all on how people view you, even you. And you find your purpose, you find out who you are. And I didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I know Justin Bieber could definitely use some advice.
Yeah.
Lost. Because with all the success, nobody that, especially with what happened to me, 10 times even bigger than Bieber, or anybody, because of being me and white and who I am. And at the time, it was something far more impactful, if that makes any sense, for people to hate on or take a punch at or anything, right? So it was a groundbreaking thing that really was, and probably could have killed me in many, many ways. Not just the Suge Knight way but suicidal way, to the point where all my dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be nightmares.
And that's exactly what he did. Ice built his own dance crew, performing at malls, beatboxing, freestyling, spinning on his head for $40 a day. And that was more than his rich friends ever made on allowance. No label deals, no managers, just pure hustle. He told GQ in 2013, "I used to spin on my head at the mall and make $40 a day." His backstory wasn't glamorous, it was gritty. Ice dropped out of high school, never met his real dad, and watched his mom go through multiple marriages. He came from lower middle class, working whatever jobs he could just to survive while chasing a dream. And to top it off, he was the only white kid trying to earn respect in a mostly black hip-hop scene. No handouts, no promises, just that fire in his gut.
You know, the time that Whitney died, that night when we were at, you know, my Grammy party, and it was Puffy. It really was Puffy, Diddy, all Puffy, of the, back to Puffy. And for him to so articulately sum why we were there together, why the party had to go on, why the musical community had to be joined together. Very touching, very special.
I didn't have a crystal ball, he said, but I felt something. There was this energy around me, and I just knew I was gonna make something happen. And that's the hunger nobody saw coming. There were too many people who liked what I was doing. That's how Vanilla Ice described the early buzz. And he wasn't wrong. Ice threw himself into the Dallas hip-hop scene, and things kicked off fast. His big break, it all started with a dare. A friend pushed him to hop on the mic at an open mic night at Club City Lights. Ice stepped up and lit the place on fire. The crowd went crazy, and the club manager immediately offered him a regular spot. From there, it snowballed. Ice started opening for heavy hitters. We're talking NWA, Public Enemy, the DOC, Paula Abdul, Sinbad, and MC Hammer.
This sleepy little town is about to become cool as ice.
Drop it. What the hell is that? Drop that zero and get with the hero.
The dude was suddenly in rooms most rappers could only dream of, and he earned it with straight grind. By then, he was a known name across Dallas. He'd been tearing up motocross competitions, spitting bars at house parties, and had the streets of Forest Lane in South Dallas buzzing with his name. But it wasn't all smooth rides. One night turned deadly when Ice was stabbed 5 times. He lost 4 pints of blood and barely made it out alive, spending days in the hospital recovering. That moment could have ended everything, but instead it lit a fire under him. After one of his hype sets at City Lights, talent scouts from major labels started sliding him business cards like candy. Word spread fast, and Public Enemy even tried to pull in producer Hank Shockley to sign him to Def Jam, thanks to his dance skills, charisma, and that commercial look.
But how did black artists treat you?
Great. That's where I'm. Listen,
like Tupac or Biggie or those guys.
Oh, good friends of mine. I was friends with Tupac way before he even blew up. When he was with Digital Underground. NWA. I was the opening act. Listen, I was the opening act for the opening act for the opening act for the opener for the opener when we did the Stop the Violence tour with NWA, Stetsa Sonic, EPMD, Sir Mix-a-Lot. So I was that kid out there, and they were great friends. They embraced me.
But in the end, Ice made his own move. He inked a deal with SBK Records in 1990. And that changed everything. While touring with MC Hammer on the Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him World Tour, even Hammer gave him props. He said he respected Ice for doing his own thing and not trying to copy anyone. From freestyle battles to major stages, Vanilla Ice earned that spotlight. Vanilla Ice wasn't out here copying moves or faking vibes. He just hit the stage and did him. MC Hammer even said he was blown away. I was shocked to see a white kid who was, number 1, rapping, and number 2, dancing. He was in a 100% black club, the only white dude in there. But he didn't care. He wasn't copying. He was dancing. And the respect didn't stop there. Even Tupac showed love. According to Vanilla Ice, Tupac never came at him sideways. In fact, they kicked it a few times in the early 90s. Tupac was known for calling out fake energy in hip-hop. If he thought you were a fraud, he said it to your face.
That's not what he says at all.
I had my bodyguards who had guns, and they had their people which had guns, and they had us outpowered and outnumbered.
Talking publicly about it for the first time, Van Winkle describes a terrifying night in his suite at a Beverly Hills hotel when he says Suge Knight showed up with 6 other men.
roughed one of my bodyguards up. They roughed everybody else and my whole entourage up.
But not once did Pac diss Ice or accuse him of stealing from the culture. Instead, Ice said Tupac actually gave him advice and even backed him when other rappers tried to throw shade. That's major, considering how ruthless the scene was back then. But not everyone kept it cool. When it came to Tupac's label boss, Suge Knight, the vibes turned deadly. That's where the infamous story comes in. The one where Suge Knight allegedly dangled Vanilla Ice over a hotel balcony in a violent move to get him to sign over rights to his music. Yeah, things took a dark turn real fast, and it was only the beginning. It all popped off with a man named Mario Chocolate Johnson, a songwriter who claimed he helped pen multiple tracks for Vanilla Ice, including the mega hit Ice Ice Baby. At the time, Johnson was managed by none other than Suge Knight. And when Suge caught wind of Johnson's involvement in the song, he made his move, and it wasn't a friendly one.
For the real estate, I've been doing it for over 30-something years. I've been a GC. I went to design school, got a degree 18 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's why the TV show has 180 episodes and 13 seasons, is because we still just do it. I really do it. There's no fluff to my show, you know? I go to seminars all over the world, man. Anytime a seminar comes in, and I'll go to real estate seminars, I'll go to self-help seminars, I go to all kinds of things. I'm really clean. Like I had a weekend, like you, I think, that lasted about 3 years, way back in my early 20s, and then I've been clean since, so it's been a long time because I'm getting...
In 1990, Suge allegedly pulled up on Vanilla Ice, demanding a cut of the Ice Ice Baby royalties. But it wasn't just talk. According to legend, Suge rolled deep, cornered Ice at a hotel, and pressured him to sign over 25% of the profits. And by pressured, we're talking balcony-level intimidation. The most infamous version of the story, Suge allegedly grabbed Ice by the ankles and held him over the balcony until he gave in. Ice later cleared up that he wasn't literally dangled, but he did confirm that Suge made himself very clear about what he wanted during that terrifying confrontation. But here's where the tables turn.
Arsenio Hall show, at first I was a fan, you know.
What you gonna do?
And then I became definitely not a fan of the show, especially after I did the show.
In all fairness to my audience, when you talk about Vanilla Ice, I was mad at Vanilla Ice before the interview started.
Thank you.
You have been embroiled in a lot of controversy. The press has been really hard on you lately, saying that you lie about your background.
I mean, that's all old news. I didn't lie about.
But I haven't interviewed you, so it's new news for my audience. So let's get into it.
I thought he was a little hard on me. He was venomous.
I've heard stories about me lying about where I came from and everything, and I never lied. Let me just tell you, when the record company creates all this stuff, bios around you, and you know they have your own publicists and everything, they create this image, okay? This image. And it's easy to hate on that image because it's a novelty act image, you know? I was kind of thrown into this new kids with snot category.
Fast forward to now, and Vanilla Ice is out here winning in real life, while Suge Knight sits behind bars, not eligible for parole until at least October 2034, when he'll be pushing 70. Vanilla Ice is living a whole new chapter. After stepping away from the music game, Ice flipped the script. He got into real estate way before it was trendy, using his music money to buy, renovate, and resell properties across Florida. And it blew up. He didn't just survive, he thrived. His eye for design and sharp business game even landed him a hit renovation show, the Vanilla Ice Project, which ran for multiple seasons on the DIY network. From being nearly thrown off a balcony to building an empire of homes, Vanilla Ice turned the industry's darkest moment into his greatest comeback.
Tupac and I are good friends.
Yes.
Good dude. Gave me some of my greatest advice because he saw me going through hell with all the hatred and all the shit, and he stood up for me and said straight up, Ice, you're dope. He goes, I want you to know you're one of the great ones. You're dope. You're gonna leave your mark, your legacy, and this is before it happened. He knew it. This guy had a crystal ball.
Vanilla Ice knew better than to sell out, and he proved it by turning down those shady industry invites. While others got caught up in the game, he dipped out early, played the long game, and now he's still stacking cash while some of his biggest haters either broke or sitting in a cell. Fans today are calling it one of the smartest moves in music history, walking away from the spotlight and jumping headfirst into real estate before the world even knew what house flipping was. No scandals, no crashes, no breakdowns, just a man who said no to the freaky side of fame and built his own lane with integrity. And honestly, That might have been the realest thing he ever did. But now we want to hear from you. Was Vanilla Ice a genius for leaving the music industry when he did? Do you believe those dark stories about the industry trying to rope him into their twisted world? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading everything. And if you're into the wild side of Hollywood, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear the real tea. Hit that bell so you never miss the madness. And we'll catch you in the next one.